Boys and girls, from the very first times I was little, I played the first Borderlands. Oh my god, it's 12 years old. So there is no surprise that I was very excited for Borderlands 3. Was kinda bummed out that it came out on Epic. Played it with my good friend and I quite enjoyed it. The obvious, very good game mechanic, but sadly piss poor story. And now the point of the video. It has been more than a year since I finished it. Meanwhile, many updates and DLCs. How does the game feel right now? Is it better? Is it the same? Have something noticeable changed since then? We will find out. For those who play it, leave down in the comments below what do you think, and let's dive right in. One important thing to mention. In this video, we will be going through the main game, how is it in 2021 and what has changed. In the next video, we will discuss more late game and the DLCs. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda excited. On Epic, I managed to play this game around 50 hours. At the time, max leveling Flag and Mouse. Well, managing to get few legendaries, I guess. Yeah, in those times, we would get quite a lot of things. The bosses were kinda easy and they were dropping a lot of stuff. This time, I'm going to play Zane. Full of excitement, I jumped right in. And from the very start, there were things out of ordinary. There was new stuff. I don't know any of this stuff. What? Oh, this is new as well? But at least we have some of the Guardian levels. And as we have played before, yeah, we got skin. So we managed to look fabulous from the start. And yes, most of the game I didn't enjoy really the dialogue parts. This thing didn't change that much. Looking mildly fabulous, we went right into the fight. Yeah, the gameplay still feels amazing, like it used to. After clearing the first encounter, we got a new gun, and let's say that thing is amazing. We were blowing heads up, pieces flying everywhere. Damn, this is awesome. And this is what Borderlands games brings to the table, and I already fell in love with it again. With the pistol I got, I managed to obliterate everything that got in my way. And also, as I remembered few things here and there, yeah, I knew where the hidden chest was. Very nice. We managed to kill the first boss quite easily, reaching level 2. Oh boy, here we were at the skill tree. And this felt like a first time experience because I never played Zane and also we had a new skill tree. Look at the fabulous pun. I went through every skill, reading it, finding out what's best, and it took some time. After some time considering, I chose to go for the professional tree. Also, I turned off the Guardian ranks to make it more so like first time playing. And when I think back on Borderlands games, I always think to the leveling process. The gameplay is solid. As you are leveling super fast, you are always getting new exciting guns. Everything is good and new, and you don't have to optimize your build like in the late game, which makes it feel more rewarding and fresh. And also, as I mentioned, I was playing Zane for the first time, so every skill I picked for the first time, it felt amazing. But I noticed one thing that felt quite different from 1 year ago. I don't really remember that it was like this before, but it felt kinda easy, and more challenge would be appreciated. Especially after what happened next. Something that I never experienced a year ago.
Finger's getting tired over here.
For some reason, here in this shop, I can get a legendary weapon. The Flood. Okay. That was unexpected. Kinda convenient getting legendary gun that bounces bullet if you hit a critical damage when going for critical damage build. This might not seem like it, but it is actually a huge deal. Leave a like on this video. If you enjoyed it, it allows it to be recommended to more people. Arigato. And why is it a big deal that we are getting legendaries here and there from vending machines? Because what hurt the game for me 1 year ago wasn't the crappy story. Well, that was a sad part, but it was how easily you could obtain the legendary loot. Don't get me wrong, Borderlands does amazingly when it comes to rewarding you for the effort. Unlimited amount of guns, different playstyles, feels amazing. But at some point, when the legendaries are way too easy to obtain, it doesn't feel that rewarding to get that orange glow. 1 year ago, with my Flag and Mouse, I could one-shot the bosses and gain like 6 to 7 legendaries per one shot, and eventually it got just stale. Makes me wish that we had one more tier above legendary. Some epic ultra tier that doesn't actually drop every few seconds. And that is why I'm getting worried at this point of the game, because one thing I want to be fixed is less legendary drop rates. What? That is nearly unheard of. And now that I'm getting legendaries from vending machines for a few dollars, doesn't really make it better. And if you wonder, it happened quite often that I could find legendaries in the vending machines, and also the bosses dropped it quite regularly. At this point, I'm getting worried about the late game. And now, obviously, with all the powerful weapons we had, we obliterated the second boss of the game. Well, after that, what can I say? Lilith got wrecked and we moved to another planet, which gets me to another big difference. Maybe self-imposed, but I was quite speeding through the content. With all the loot we got, I had basically no need to do the side missions. Of course, when I first played it, I played the side missions, but now, when I kinda knew them, there isn't really an incentive to play them. Do you remember what I said about the leveling and how fast you acquire new exciting stuff? Well, yes, it is awesome, but it also has a negative aspect. That was that in my eyes, the side quests weren't worth the time. In terms of reward, because whatever you would get fastly replaced by better things because you leveled up. But yeah, that was one side effect. I was kinda underleveled, so all the new weapons I got, the legendaries and stuff, were higher level and I couldn't equip them. Although we had some amazing loot, it was quite low level, so it got a bit harder, especially when we fought Gigamind. It wasn't so fast, but we managed to defeat him. Of course, he dropped legendary weapons, but they were higher level than us, so figures. And still underleveled, we headed to Athens, another planet in the Borderlands universe. There, the level difference started to show up. My things weren't doing as much damage, and they were doing quite, let's say, a lot of damage. And soon I realized I had to catch up in levels. And there was one thing I remembered, something called Chupacabra, which is a small boss that is quite easily farmed. Boys and girls, as we were so under-leveled, I farmed Chupacabra a few times, and yeah, we managed to catch up with the XP, and we are capable of using new and lovely weapons. Now we quit the game, reload, and kill the Chupacabra again. Very nice way to catch up with XP. And now we can continue because we quite melt through the enemies. Poor guys. And we are again meeting the queen that annoyed the whole community. Hello, Mr. Trout. Where are you? Hello. Yep. Haha. Stuck. And a legendary. Another legendary. I'm starting to think that they embraced the whole legendary drop rate and now they're just shoving it in and drown you in them. Our next stop was Malevolent Death Star. They were kinda threatening our friends on Atlas. We took over the laser and shot at Reese's competitor's pleasure yacht. Let's say he wasn't happy about it. He got so mad that he attacked us with an eye. But as the story goes, we took care of it quite easily. Of course, we cannot forget the rewards. However, the pleasure yacht wasn't enough. Next up, we hunted the man down himself. Somebody said legendary? And that got me to another thing about Borderlands games that I did not expect to change, but I kinda forgot about it. The bloody driving and the cars. You always go into it like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. What can be bad about crazy cars, chases, shooting, blah blah blah. It is really bad. Anytime there is a mission with vehicles, you will experience some pain. And as I said, on the paper it sounds great, but somehow it feels horrible. But I guess it's mostly because of the feeling of hopelessness. It should be like you're in a super powerful car, but it's more like you're stuck in this thing, we're gonna send bunch of enemies and there's not much you can do and you will probably die. You don't have many tricks up your sleeve in the cars, so when there's a bunch of enemies, yeah, you just watch as your health depletes down and down. And sometimes it gets quite wonky. And what do you know, the part where I wanted to show you my, let's say, unsatisfaction showed its worst part. Not intentionally, I got my car stuck and there was no way to get it out. I had to get out of the vehicle, get a new one, bump to the mission one few times, and thankfully I got it out. Yeah, the Borderlands vehicles need some love. At least at the end we got rewarded in the vending machine. Enjoying the loot, I remind myself that I really enjoy the psychos. Those are, in my opinion, the funnest enemies to fight, and it is always joy to try everything you got on them. They are just so inviting with their bodies. What followed after that was one of the coolest bosses in the game. I especially enjoy the sound design. Kinda scary. Boys and girls, we are breezing through this game quite fast. So fast that you can smash that subscribe button. If you don't mind seeing me more often, you can always change your mind. Welcome to another planet. Controlled by the Jacobs family, we have to save Hammerlock. But before that, we have to visit the vending machines. And look at this. More legendary guns. We are still talking to him. And look at this. Another one. And you know the story. Kill the boss. Save the lady, get no legendary, but There's a plot twist. But no worries, boys and girls, after the boss, we got another legendary. And here's a cool fact. Right here at this spot, there used to be a Ludo gnome that would spawn quite often. That would drop a lot of legendaries. They managed to patch it quite fast. Later, we encountered Balex, arguably the best character in the Borderlands 3. And with his help, we defeated another boss, Genevieve.
Goodbye, Genevieve. You suck, and I hate it.
Aurelia was next on our list. You see? Oh, legendary again. The lady we violated. Ah, haha, I got it. The lady we violated. You know the word. Before was nothing. What comes now? English. It's not working. I'm so excited. We will fight a thing here that pretty much ruined the game for me before because I farmed it over and over again because it dropped so many bloody legendaries. Yeah, totally nothing is here, right? The experience comes in handy because I obliterated this guide so many bloody times. Yeah. Here, there's only one. It's still something. Oh, a dry corpse. Quit. Reload. Get the legendary in the vending machine. And repeat. And he's done. He's dropping less legendaries. Something just dropped. Not gonna lie, this used to be the strongest. Excuse me, one of the strongest guns in the game. And I have no idea if it was nerfed. Yeah, boys and girls, we farmed to get level 30. Now I'm gonna respec because I messed up a few times. Very good, and we're gonna start with the blue tree. As I was getting to the end of the story, I realized that I enjoyed the game more than I expected. You have to understand that I had all the rights to not enjoy it as much. This was basically my 5th playthrough of the story, and also this time I was rushing it to get to the DLCs because that was the part I was most excited for. But the gameplay just hooked me in. This is the top of the line looter shooter. And at the end I didn't even mind that I was getting so many legendaries. Because there's so many legendaries. And they updated them so they are quite balanced. Although I got a lot of them, they were all different and they all played differently. So whatever. There's many of them. And also I noticed one thing. There were new enemies, more of them, more variety. At this part I might be wrong, I might be totally high, but it felt like some of them were new, I guess. This is the only one I'm not 100% sure about. And also the story, the worst offender of this game, isn't even that bad. There are some annoying characters. Yes, as someone who played in the recent times a lot of sandbox games, a lot of indie games that didn't have any story, I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect, but it is definitely not horrible. And of course, as it goes, we defeated boss after boss after boss. Then we got into the final boss of the game, even though the game wasn't that challenging, and I beat it in less than 15 hours. Keep in mind, I was rushing the games. You can get twice as many time without DLCs on amazing side quests and a bunch of stuff that is waiting there for you. I enjoyed this game much more than I anticipated. And as we are talking about the difficulty, after you finish it, you will unlock mayhem modes, which makes pretty much everything harder and you get better loot. As you can see, we will have to work hard to defeat some of these bosses. So shockingly, although this is one of my favorite games, I had so much fun and I cannot wait to explore the DLCs and the mayhem mode. And of course I will make a video how it all went so you can know how is the overall state of Borderlands 3. The campaign is amazing, and if you haven't played this game is worth buying. Or if you're coming after a while, replay the story. Play with a new character that you didn't play with before. This is it. I hope you enjoyed, guys. I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao. Leave a like and take care.